everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. It is a rainy, dreary day in the Ozarks. This is Tuesday. I just got back from a week-long trip to Iowa. I took some recliners up to Cassie in Maquoketa on Tuesday. And then I spent 4 days in Muscatine at the Best Western there. Really nice hotel. Friendly staff. Muscatine all over, the people were really nice. Spent 4 days working on my book. Ate quite a few times at, there was a nice little diner there that I highly recommend. Portions were big, prices were reasonable, and they have a breakfast buffet on Sunday mornings for sure that I know of. And then I ate nearly every day at Hong Kong buffet. I did eat at Applebee's twice, but once I found the Chinese buffet, it's the only place I needed to go. But I also did multiple trips to Dollar Tree. I went there initially looking to see if they had any dyes, and instead I found lots of other things. And I also went to Joanns, which was less than 2 blocks away from the hotel, and I went there twice. And I'm noticing, there it is. I had set the second Joanns order aside. So let's start with Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree had new books in. This one is called Handmade Nation, The Rise of DIY Art, Craft, and Design. And I really love the pictures in here more than anything. Just the pictures in general to use in a journal for a lot of things. I love this one. Not sure what it is, but I'm going to read and find out. And screen printing. Lots of cool images in here that I'm really going to enjoy using this book for. And then they had this one, Better Homes and Gardens Decorating Book. Classic Designs from 1961, which is the year I was born. I thought that was kind of cool. And there's some really cool pictures in here. Window treatments, prescriptions for good lighting. Good heavens. Resilient cork tiles blend with light woods in this room. They have cork tiles for the floor. Very modern. Wall-to-wall carpeting or a room-size rug. There's lots of things in here I could use, and I think I may do this as maybe a personal journal. Not sure yet, but couldn't pass it up. And it is a hardbound, and it is 1-inch spine. So plenty of room there to play with. So there was that one. I also found The Spiritual Legacy of Laura Ingalls Wilder by Stephen W. Hines. Now, I live about an hour and a half, maybe, from the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum in Mansfield, Missouri. And this is what it says here in the inside. The author of the best-selling Little House books was not only one of America's great storytellers, but also a woman of vibrant faith. Her husband, Almanzo, was a Mason, Freemason, and she was, God, I can't remember what they call them. But she was involved in the women's side of the Freemasons as well. So I'm looking forward to just reading this book and putting this on my shelf with my Little House books. I grabbed a rub-on that I'm thinking I'm going to use in the May Journal, which I'm going to show you my May Journal kit on Thursday in place of my design team post, because we can use as many of Dear Julie digitals as we would like to use, and I think I'm going to be using a combination of all of her roses. She's got several that are rose themed, and I'm going to be using a mixed match of those. And I also thought these rub-ons were good, that I might use these as well. And then I found a new napkin. It's all black. Sorry, was I out of frame? I probably was. Black with the gold and white stars. And I see that in several different types of tags and journals. On the drive up, I stopped at a gas station, and this was laying in the driveway of the gas station. Now, a couple of pages might have to be pitched, but it's just a simple notepad, and it's rose themed. And by the time I run this through avocado dye or coffee dye, you're not going to know that it was laying in a parking lot somewhere. But I want to use that because I think the journal I'm going to use is a journal I've been wanting to make for my sister who passed away 2 years ago. And she was big on roses. Pink was her favorite color. We have, my sister and I term what we call Barbara Pink. And so these would go really good in that journal, in tuck spots and whatnot, in that journal for Barbara. The other thing I did, 2 trips to Joanns. The first one was on Monday as I was going through town, and laces were 30% off. And I'm going to clip these plastics off here. Now, for the May journal, we can shop for 14 things, either to buy or within our stash. And if it comes all under one price, we can use that item. So I could use this entire 2 yards of lace. And what I'm liking about this lace is I could use it as is, or I can take and let me trim a piece of this off. Let me use my ribbon scissors. Or I could cut it down through the middle and get double use out of this ribbon. And it would be just that delicate. I could cut a long section off and use it in the tassel, just to trim the top of a pocket, not use the whole thing. So I got that one. And then I got this one. This one was $2.99, 2 yards. But this one has a lot of options. And I really love using laces in my journal. I think laces are probably my favorite thing to use in a journal. And this is a really wide trim. It is 2.5 inches. And again, I could trim it off to just use part of it. I could use the whole thing as a belly band. Lots of options for this one. And then I bought this. And this is a vintage trim. And again, as it is, piece it apart. Lots to use here. Probably won't use it in this kit, but I had to have it. And aside from that vintage tone, I loved, this is the first one I spotted. It's the same lace, but it's in this pretty dusty rose. Now this, you can see there's tape on the end here. That's because I got the end of the bolt at a discount price when she pulled off my yard worth, half a yard, thereabouts. And it was, there was a trim there that got left behind, so I said, I'll take it. And lastly, on that first trip to Joanns was this black. Try to get to an end here so you can see. And I keep looking at this and I keep seeing a bee. Not a flower. I see a bee. So this may have to go in my bee journal, just because it looks like it needs to be in the bee journal. Okay, that was all on my first trip to Joanns. Then I decided I was going to make one more trip before I came home. So Saturday after dinner, I went back. And what prompted this was, I was at Spectrum Art sale Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, I listened on the way home and had to pull over a couple of times and buy stuff. But I had not been able to find any of these fabrics at my Joanns in Springfield. So I bought a fat quarter from Maddie of this one. And I thought, you know, I really need to include this in my sewing journal. So what I thought I would do is, while I was there, and Joanns was oh so close, I would run over to Joanns and see what they had. They had this one. They had, let me get to a couple others here. They had this one. And aside from the women here, I can cut out some of the fussy pieces here. Use this as a fabric flip, a pocket. put some of this maybe in squares or or whatever in the kits. Then there was this one. I love this in this blue. And the thing with these are all 50s and 60s, primarily 60s, so I could see using these in conjunction with that Better Homes and Garden Journal. So there was that one. Doesn't say on the thing, it just says Joanns Cotton. And then there was this one. I love this honeycomb. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a bunch of this size honeycomb or hexagons and make layers of the cardstock together to make chipboards, and then layer this on top of the chipboards to make coins that can be used in the journals. So I bought that one. That's going to mean some fussy cutting, but that's okay. I think the result will be worth it. And then there was this one by Simplicity. And it just adds a nice contrast. You've got the sewing notions, handmade by, buttons, needles, spools of thread, scissors, the tape measure. Lots of neat stuff on this one. And then there was, this has an elegance to it, and then there was this one that's a little busier. And I'm not sure if this is actually from the Simplicity line, but it has that same overall feel to go with that line. So I bought a 1/4 yard of each of those. And then I spotted these for my bee journal. And some of this will go in the bee journal kits as well. Make nice fabric flips out of this one and out of this honey gold. So those are coming up. I haven't forgotten, honest. I'm going to have Bob help me this week in the office and see if I can't get some stuff organized so I can finally get stuff into the shop. And then I found these little tulip paper clips from Park Lane to use in my garden journal. I had to pick up some Timmy. This is the it has the stencil and the words, but it doesn't say, just says Tim Holtz Mixed Media. I'll take it out of the shiny so you can see. There's all these words and the stencil, and I love his stencils. This one's got a floral pattern, and then it's got the Swiss dot pattern, and of course you can always use the packaging. And this has got this is a real slick feel to it, not like our usual hard glossy packaging. This just feels different. And then we have Focus on the Good, Hold on Tight to Your Dreams. It's all perspective. There is Beauty in Simplicity. Now, wouldn't that be neat on a little tag inside those? Collect Beautiful Moments. Lucky is a State of Mind. Blessed are the Curious. With Brave Wings She Flies. Be Good in the Bee Journal. Do What You Love. Loved You to the Moon and Back. That's me and my granddaughter saying. Hope is Never Lost. Love with All Your Heart. See Possibility Everywhere. Let Life Surprise You. Just One Life. Always Take the Scenic Route. That would be good in my travel journal. Be Your Beautiful Self. Show the World Your Magic. Creativity Takes Courage. Never Stop Exploring. Don't Forget to Fly. I'm Happiest When I'm With You. Shine Like the Stars. Today is Full of Possible. And Find Joy in the Ordinary. A lot of very slim sayings that will be perfect in journals and on cards. So that was my Tim Holtz find. And lastly, let me grab one more thing really quick. Oh, wait a minute. I think Bob put it in here already. Never mind. Saturday was the last day for doorbusters, and I'm going to raise this up really as high as I can here. So bear with me a minute while everything jiggles. There we go. So I can get you way up in the air so you can see a little bit better. This is a sewing box, and it is roughly 9 inches square, and 5.5 inches deep. This was like the medium size of all their sewing boxes, and all their sewing boxes were on Doorbuster for 60% off, which means this $39.99 sewing box from St. Jane Collection cost me about $15. And the thing of it is, and it's got, I'm going to tip it here, you've got a pin cushion up here, you've got a couple of pockets, elasticized pockets up here. It has a brass snap closure, and all this deep well space as well as this tray. I have a plan. Right now, I'm not sure where my sewing bobbins are for my sewing machine and needles that I will use strictly for paper. This is a wet wipes box from I've had forever that I keep all my binding supplies in. And see how everything's kind of just jumbled in here. My sewing, my needle threader keeps winding up down in the bottom. My template has to be folded. This little bottle holds one of my stitching needles when it's not sticking on everything else, as well as the sewing machine needle for paper in this little bottle, and that's fine. But then to get to anything else, I have to dig and pilfer through here. So I'm going to use the top tray to keep all my immediate binding supplies in, and then my bobbin box and my most used colors of thread for stitching on journal cards and tags and that kind of thing will fit down into the bottom, and I won't have to worry about not being able to get to stuff or having it in two separate places. This essentially becomes my junk journal sewing basket, and that's all I'm going to use it for. So that was my haul. Lots of shopping to be had while I was gone, both there and on Maddie's Spectrum Art with Maddie and Madison. They hold a sale the first Friday, Saturday, Sunday of every month. The sales run about 10 hours each day. We have a lot of fun in chat. But the cool thing is Maddie's able to get products from overseas. Germany, France, London, Italy. She gets Stamperia, Ciabella. She's been picking up a couple of new lines I can't even think of the name of. And she's able to get products that coordinate. And because she buys in bulk, she passes the savings pretty much on to us. The prices are not astronomical like you would think. And so she collects your sale ticket Friday through Sunday. And then about Thursday the following week, you'll get an invoice to your PayPal of how much you need to send her in your PayPal, pay the invoice, and then she usually tries to get everything shipped out by that following Monday. As you've been seeing some of my hauls, I get a lot of really cool stuff through Maddie. I probably did more damage this month than I ever have, but Stamperia product is my weakness. I can't help it. So that's what I bought. I bought Stamperia. I bought stuff to go with other things that I'm using, stuff that I have, stuff that I bought in the past. I bought a couple of Graphic 45 Alice in Wonderland papers that you cannot get anymore, that she found them stashed in the back of her warehouse, so out they came. And she, you know, she knows her customers, and she says, okay, where are my steampunk girls? Where are my Alice people? She knows us, and she knows what to bring to us. And she's just super sweet. And as I said, we have a lot of fun in her chat. So, here in the next couple of weeks, I will be doing the Maddie haul for what I bought this past weekend. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Okay, that's my shopping haul. A little longer than normal. I'm not sure where I go from here. Bob leaves on Tuesday, so I'm probably not going to do anything else the rest of the weekend. It all belongs to Bob till he leaves on Tuesday. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you back here soon. Creative blessings.